Hey guys, welcome to our Not So Perfect Life.
How's it going?
Well, today we're going to talk about how, living the dream.
Being on the road.
Full-time living, adventure all the time.
Nothing but the horizon in front of you.
Well, it's not exactly what you think, is it?
No.
And we're going to talk about that today, so stick around. We decided 2.5 years ago to sell our house.
Sell almost everything we owned and hit the road full-time in an RV.
Yeah, we thought carpe diem, man.
There was a perfect storm of circumstances that allowed us to hit the road, and we did.
Yeah, we took everything that we had basically and said, let's do this, and wherever it takes us, we'll go there.
It's now or never, man.
Yeah, we had our 2 youngest boys that came with us on the road, and the Lily Pups, who definitely brightened all of our lives, huh?
Yes.
She loves living on the road too, huh? She's pretty easygoing. And we decided to take Jason's background in photography and videography, document our travels for our family, for a community of people who maybe wanted to get out there and see some things through our YouTube channel or get out there and go visit some of these places.
Yeah, or just be inspired by the stories that we share and the people that we meet.
Yeah, we've met some incredible people along this way, and the journey has been incredible. However, there is a lot that goes into this journey that maybe nobody wants to talk about. And if you are thinking about going out there and adventuring, full-time living on the road somehow, whether you're thinking about it for retirement or a solo van life or taking your family,
or just any kind of alternative living lifestyle, it certainly can come with some challenges, and we want to uncover and unpackage just a few of those today with you based off of kind of our experience and some of the things that we never heard on the internet before and we wished we would have.
Or never thought we would experience. And we have. So no matter who you are, no matter what background you come from,
right, how much money you make,
your experience is going to be different than ours.
For sure.
But leave it to us to share our not so perfect experiences so that just in case you haven't thought about these things, you will now.
Or in the event you run into something, you can reference this video for later.
We're going to talk about some real stuff that we have learned. 2.5 years on the open road, tiny living, traveling the country. What has it really been like? And we're here to break that to you. We're here to drop some truth bombs. So we'd love to bring you around, we're gonna sit down at the table and we're gonna have a chat with you.
Like a little dining room table chit chat.
Like a little conversation.
A little family one-on-one.
Right, except for that
we don't actually have a table.
We don't have a table right now because we don't have a house right now.
We're gonna get to that too.
Yeah. So just hang out and we'll unpackage why we don't have a dining room table right now to talk to you across, but that's okay because we have a camera and we have some chairs, and let's sit down and have a chat.
And what do we mean by all of this? We mean, first and foremost, you should expect the unexpected.
Because no matter how prepared you might be, how many YouTube videos you've watched, or even how much you've traveled, you have to expect the unexpected.
You better learn to expect something that you didn't think of.
Reservations can change, things can get delayed, parts and pieces of your tiny home or RV can break.
For sure. I mean, and even those that are seasoned travelers, seasoned alternative lifestyle kind of people already know. They're like shaking their head in agreement going, we're hearing this.
Your tow vehicle can break down. I mean, you name it and it can happen. You just have to be prepared to expect the unexpected and try to go with the flow as much as possible. And then, quite honestly, one of the big most unexpected things that we have experienced is 4 months ago, our home on wheels had a catastrophic frame failure.
Failure, guys.
It has been in the shop for months now.
Yeah. Selectively homeless? Right here.
Yeah. So
actually, unselectively homeless.
we didn't really choose that.
Yeah.
We're so grateful for the wonderful people who have taken us in.
Allowed us to go outside, grab our gear, and shack up for the weekend.
So our stuff is now in between a storage unit, family member's house, friends' houses.
Our current frame-failed RV.
In the RV that's at the dealership.
Yep.
So
I'm sure we've lost some things.
It's been really awesome. And that threw us for a loop. So, here we are just in limbo. Mm-hmm. And this is in the real right now.
And it is truly unexpected.
Yeah, so stay tuned to see whatever unfolds with all of that.
Oh, we've got a story to share with you. We've got a story.
It'll be coming down the pipeline.
Oh, yeah. So this is going to get awkward.
Well, you must know that this tiny living can pose a lot of
constraints.
Yeah. You might have to work on things in your relationships that you never thought you would have to work on.
Oh, it is an uncovering, folks.
Yeah. It will test your patience.
Yep.
It will test... it can. I'll say it can.
Yeah, I mean, look, we really enjoy being close to one another. We don't mind being in close quarters, but there are definitely things that we've learned along the way that have challenged.
Well, and even with us thinking that, we really, we love being together all the time, no problem. There were times when I was like, oh my God, I love you all, but I just need a bath. I just need a quiet bath with some candle lights and incense burning. And I don't want one single person to knock on the door.
Oh my gosh. I just feel like this is a song, like, all the single ladies. Like all the girls are like, yes and amening right now.
No, but I'm sure for dudes too. Like,
dudes
oh my gosh.
just want to take a walk and go like, I don't know, shoot guns or something.
I don't know, but I'm just saying that it doesn't matter how close you are, how much you like each other. Being together 24/7 poses challenges.
It does. It does.
And you have to work through those. I mean, 'cause you don't have to, but if you want to stay together, you kind of need to work those things out.
Pretty smart. And when you add kids into the equation, especially teenage kids, when you talk about wanting privacy, right? Teenage kids get the program.
Yeah.
Do we have to go into detail?
I mean, look, they can hear everything in an RV.
Yeah.
Irregardless of whether it's some alone time.
Right.
Or you think you're alone, but you're not really alone.
No, you're not. You're not alone.
Or talking about, personal things that maybe you don't want to have your kids be involved in.
Right, whether it be finances or how to deal with an issue with one of the kids. You're trying to work through stuff, or you're trying to surprise them with something.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You're in tiny quarters. And it is challenging.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging. Just know it's challenging. Thankfully, there are counselors that do Zoom calls and do remote counseling.
2020 taught us a lot about how we can adjust life, and one of those things is Zoom counseling, Zoom marital counseling or relationship counseling or whatever it is you need.
Sometimes that you need that help. You need that extra help.
Look, we've had this in a really earlier video. It's maintenance, maintenance, maintenance. And for those of you that know, you know. Another thing that you have to consider is everyone involves perspective. Yeah, so there's a point of view from every single person that is involved in your family dynamic, and maybe even outside of your family dynamic too. There's just a perspective on the life and lifestyle that you're pursuing that really has to be taken into account. Yeah, it doesn't mean that you live your life based on what everybody else thinks, because that's not what we're saying. Yeah, I think I should be careful in saying that, right? I'm not saying you have to take those thoughts and suddenly now you adjust your life based off of what somebody might be thinking. Right. But in our situation, we had ourselves and 2 kids, and we listened. We listened to each other, and we listened to them.
Because in a relationship of any kind, it's important to hear each other out.
Yeah.
And we definitely were learning different things as we were going and had to really pivot and adjust. And a major perspective that we had to take into account for our own lives were our 2 youngest who were with us.
Yeah.
And our oldest son was like, I can travel for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But right now, I kind of want to just be in high school.
Right. What I can't repeat are these years.
Yeah.
And these years for him were hanging out with friends, getting a car,
getting a job.
like doing the stuff that kind of a lot of us.
Normal teenage things
Right.
to want to experience.
Yep.
And so we had to look at that and go, do we really want to keep doing this?
Well, the answer was yes, but then it was honestly something that we heard early on in even the exploration of RV life. We gotta always give credit where it's due, which is KYD. And Mark and Trish said, don't make your experience theirs. As much as we loved traveling so much, we had a young man who's like, I get it, I love it, it is fun.
Well, I just want to experience kind of like a normal high school experience before it's too late, And so we are smack dab in the middle of figuring out those dynamics. And even if you're thinking, well, I'm going to be retired when I'm on the road, so it's just the 2 of us.
Right.
Well, there's still, you might love it for the first 6 months, or maybe you're just missing your kids or your grandkids and you don't want to miss out on that. So you will pivot as you're going, I'm sure. And that's what we have learned. It's a ever evolving work of art.
Well said. Well said. One thing that we have learned along the way is that this all takes money.
Yes, and when inflation happens,
diesel prices more than double. When you first start out on the road and you can pull up to an RV site for $35, and then you travel through that same area a couple years later and it's like $75,
$95, $120.
Wow, I can just
I mean, seriously, that can make a huge difference in your pocket.
Oh yeah.
Even if you're financially set, you may have an awesome job that is a remote job and it's working fantastic, and then all of a sudden
corporate America,
they make a cut and you're done.
Or they make an adjustment and say, hey, we're no longer having this work remote. We need to have you in the office, and you're sitting somewhere in North Carolina and you're supposed to be back home in Northern California. Woo, that's a problem.
Yeah, so maybe that means you have to stop for a little bit, or maybe you just have to put the pause button on and once again, listen to each other, hear each other out, do what you have to do. I mean, we've been doing all kinds of side jobs.
Hustling is what we like to call it.
Painting, landscaping, sales,
we cleaned somebody's house the other day.
Yeah.
We straight were scrubbing countertops in somebody's home and cleaning toilets. Look, we're not above it or below it. What we're saying is that, the coffers that we filled, they got depleted, and we had to make a pivot. We had to make an adjustment.
Yeah.
And part of that adjustment was we got to go get some real JOBs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So even if it comes to a point where you have to just, take a look at your financial picture and move things around, then just be willing to do so and understand that if you want to keep doing it, you got to do what it takes.
Yeah, it's okay if you do.
And you haven't failed. You just had to make adjustments.
Yeah, a little twist in the journey.
Yeah, little tweaks. We have found that community and friendship is very challenging when you're out there on the road living a nomadic lifestyle.
Yeah, and what do we mean by that? It means you have to be hyper intentional with creating community, creating those friendships, and then allowing them to last and grow when you're not together. And with that, you have to cross a lot of different barriers, right? You just don't call up your friend and drive down the street.
Right.
You could be you could be countries apart. And we understood it, right? Like you get it. You get the fact that you're not in a community, but you want a community. But then how do you grow that community? And then when you find friends, how do you sustain those friends?
Right. And especially when you might be used to seeing each other, every month or something like that.
Yep.
When you're out there on the road and you're out traveling, it goes longer and longer in between. And if that's something that's important to you, then you need to keep that in mind with your scheduling of where you're going, or just like Jason said, being intentional with those relationships, and don't let them just fall by the wayside and be 2 years, because
hey, guess who's back in town?
Just know we understand that, and it might be tough for you too.
And if you have questions, put them in the comment section down below. Hashtag I need some friends.
Yeah.
And we will help walk through some of the things that we've done as far as planning to see family, planning to see friends, and even doing things as intentional as what our friends Todd and Sheila over at Switch It Up by doing huddles.
Right.
They showed us all in the RV community how to do these get-togethers. Now, again, we're not saying go out and replicate exactly what they do, because you can't replicate what those folks have done, but you can do it at a smaller scale.
Well, or just be involved with it. If you want to get involved with those events, they're doing them several times a year.
Wow, we're just volunteering for you, Todd and Sheila. I hope you don't mind we're sending people your way.
Well, no, it is. We've met some amazing people through that, and amazing friendships I know we'll have for the rest of our lives. And so that is a way you can get involved with peeps out on the road. So there are things like that you can get involved with. Make sure that you maintain those relationships and schedule in times to spend with those people on the phone or FaceTime or in their presence, because if it's important to you, make sure to make the time for those relationships.
Well, your actions will reflect how important it really is, so definitely make that happen. Your surroundings really matter. Okay, they matter when they matter. And when do they matter most, Dellynn?
When you least expect it.
Yeah, exactly. When something goes usually wrong, you need something, either mechanics repair, you need a doctor, you need a hospital, you need something that is like an emergent care piece. And you should know your surroundings.
Yeah. What do we mean exactly by that when we say know your surroundings? Well, there are some places that you might go, you don't have cell phone service. But whenever you stay somewhere, know where the closest airport is, emergency room or urgent care or hospital is.
Right. Know where the last place you had cell phone coverage from, right? It's really important when you're driving into a location. Try to monitor. Yep, I had service here at this point. Remember that. Make a mental note. Earmark on a map.
It is always important, too, that someone knows where you're going. Not a play-by-play, but at least, a friend or a family member. Keep people posted with your whereabouts is an important thing.
And here's when I plan on emerging, so that if you don't hear from me by 24, 48 hours after this emergent date, then send in the troops, because something's gone on, right? So, and one other thing that we actually thought about, because since being on the road, we've learned that there's places and spaces where you're not close to cell phone coverage, you're not close to anything, and you're really out there. It's an emergency beacon. This emergency beacon, if you hit the button on it, it'll send a helicopter to you right where you're at based on that emergency GPS coordinates.
Well, or you can send text messages. I mean, there's different levels of these GPS emergency beacons that you can get. It doesn't just send a helicopter, but it will allow you to send a text message if you don't have any cell phone service. So
there's all kinds of these beacons with all kinds of plans. You will certainly need to do your homework. This isn't about a review of those, but as we got talking about kind of an emergency thing, we were discussing that's an actually really inexpensive but appropriate way.
A wise investment. It's a wise investment. So if you have any questions on that, we do know of a couple of them. It's not sponsored in any way, but we just want to give you the information. If you're interested, let us know in the comments and we can correspond with you in that way. One of the major things we have learned is embrace change.
Yeah, for sure.
This little girl right here is one of those changes that we have embraced.
A prime example for those of you who have missed Lily so. She's still...
Oh, I'm right here and I'm still just loving
Wait,
life.
let's see if she'll do it for the camera.
When we stop, she definitely has her little way of saying, oh, please, 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 please.
It's like, what about Bob? I want. I need.
Neither one of us wanted a dog, especially not in an RV.
No way.
And the kids begged us. We have embraced the change, and of course, we fell in love with this little fluff ball.
But how can you not? Anyone who's ever been around us and met Lily themselves knows that this little pup will melt you.
Yeah.
A heart of stone? I dare you.
Put her in your lap and then just let me know what happens
Yeah.
from there. That might be a little silly about one of the things that we've embraced as change, but the truth of it is, one thing we can all be sure of is that life is going to change.
It is in constant evolution, right?
Yes.
It is in constant state of flux. And so even the most stable, consistent thing that you personally set up, just know, even if you have your perfect environment, things around you will inherently always be changing.
Yeah.
So one of those changes, like we've been working through this season. What does it look like?
We have had to take a break. It was a huge change for us. Obviously, we don't have our RV, so we can't travel. Our son wants to go to school, which is
Right.
amazing, but we've had to
Make some
embrace
changes.
that change.
Yeah. We don't currently have a home, so we don't even have like we don't
We don't
know.
even have our creature comforts of
Right.
like our stuff, So it's like you go to look for something and you're like, oh, that's in the RV.
Or it's in, or
What? Don't know where we left that at. These changes have thrown us off track for sure.
And what does that mean, off track? Like we were weekly uploading videos, we were creating content based on the lifestyle that we were living, and that has all had an abrupt change
Yeah.
right before all of you, like it unfolded.
Yeah.
And honestly, like we're thankful for so many that have reached out over this time
gosh, yeah.
and been so supportive and just saying, we
Yeah.
long for your return. And guess what? We desire to return too, but what does that look like?
Right. We don't honestly know what that looks like. And so for us, we were like, well, how can we update everybody if we don't even know what we're doing?
What exactly can we say without sounding like two bumbling idiots that don't have a plan but want to share a plan? It's like, how do you
want
even...
to share our life with you, but
Yeah.
our life is just kind of like this right now, turned upside down and like ching, 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 ching,
So,
ching, ching.
yeah, exactly.
It's probably relatable, I'm sure. And that's what some of you have encouraged us and said, it's okay if you're not traveling. We just want to like walk through whatever our
Life.
not so perfect life
Yeah,
is.
and hang out with you guys. And so here we are. We're
Here
hanging
we
out.
are. This is it, guys. In our home away from home, one of our many homes away from homes right now, because
So ridiculous, guys. It's so ridiculous.
but welcome. So, but we're not giving up. We're not quitting YouTube.
No way. No way.
We're not disappearing.
No way.
So thanks for being with us today. And hopefully some of these things you can relate to and you go, oh yeah, I do get that. Or, ooh, I didn't think about that. Or hopefully this can just apply. You can put this in your, put this
What are you, a marsupial?
Put this in your soup. Put this in your soup.
Put this in
You
your...
know, put these little sprinklings in your soup. and
Nobody says that.
stir it up
Nobody says that. Put this in your soup.
and enjoy the flavors. Enjoy the flavors. There you go. It's my philosophical moment of the day. And the sun is going down, so we must close.
It's a wrap, guys.
It's got to be a wrap. We've got to be done because
see you
it's going to get dark.
in the next one.
Uno, dos, tres.
There's a song about this.
What's that?
We're all in this together.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, every little step I make, you will be there. Every little step I take, we'll be together, yeah. That's the song that I was thinking of.
Yeah, there you go.